which will include some of the webpart improvements we've been working on since summer, right? And then we will start discussing and introducing to you our thoughts and vision for the next two webparts that are going to be released, people and documents. As usual, I'll be joined by Marco, our senior SharePoint solutions engineer. He will demo some of the things we have ready and also help me address any question you may have on what we're envisioning for people and documents. So for those who have been joining our calls for the past months, you're already familiar with our efforts to modernize and add value to our webparts. The last call we had was 15 days ago, not that long ago, when we launched the the first batch of webpart improvements to all the webparts we've been working on since the beginning of this modernization program. They became available to the public on November 3, and today we're launching this second batch of improvements that I'm going to cover in a minute. They will be made available to the public on November 24. People and documents, we're introducing our vision to you today, but we expect to have the insider release available only in December. So just bear with us for a little while, and let's make sure that today everyone shares their expectations for these two webparts once we've shared what we're thinking on. So let me start with the webpart improvements. And I keep saying this, but it's very important for us to keep honoring the feedback we receive from you. So last time I already shared that Celebrations was being able to connect to Azure AD. Starting today for insiders, you'll also have the possibility to use filters, which is essential when you're connecting to AD, for example, in a large enterprise, right? You want to make sure that you're splitting your users by department or by any other criteria that makes sense. The Remind Me pagination, the layout with department visible, and the sorting capability for Celebration still isn't available, but it's something that it's on our roadmap to include as well. On quick links, we added filtering, enabling admins to categorize links, for example, by department or app or link type, for example. We will need to still work on different displays for the quick links. We have a couple of them available now, but there's still a lot of room to improve. So wait for more news on that. On the image gallery, with the new modern version of the image gallery, you can now create a library from the webpart itself. And this is a massive improvement to what we had before. If you recall, our previous version of the image gallery required you to go to site contents before creating the image gallery, which was really not convenient if you were trying to give power to the power user, right? So right now, and similar to what we've been doing for the other webparts in which you can create a list from the webpart configuration panel, you'll be able also to create a document library for the image gallery from the panel. Now the upload through drag and drop and the smart file upload, which will adjust the size of the image to predefined requirements, won't be available today in the insider call, but will be available on the public release we'll do in November 24. So it's coming, and it's coming shortly. On title, since day one, when we launched this webpart, we had a very common comment, which was how different the title layouts were from our previous webpart title layouts. And that created kind of a disconnected experience between previous webparts that still haven't been refactored and the title webpart or the title of the new webpart. So there were a lot of different experiences there. We've adjusted the title layouts of the previous webparts so that they match at least one of the layouts from the title webparts. So long story short, you're now able to use webparts from in different stages of this modernization process and still have a uniform look and feel. Other very common requests that we had, and this was kind of common to all the webparts we had, was the possibility to use all webparts and not just the accordion with the table of contents. And that's something, sorry, let me go back there. So that's what you're seeing here in this image, and Marco will demo that later. But basically, if you have birthdays directory at the bottom of the page and you want users to navigate to it using the table of contents on the side, you are now able to do that. Similar reasoning behind the deep links, sorry. So we're now enabling deep links in all our webparts, similar to what Microsoft does out of the box with the headings text. So that will mean that you'll be able to navigate, let's say, from the landing page to a specific point of another page, just with a deep link. So if you want to redirect users to a specific area of news, for example, in a second page, not the landing page, but from the landing page, you're now able to do that. I think this will be easier seen than explained. Now, a lot of improvements for all the webparts. Search, we extended and improved our search to include not just the exact same text that people search for, but actually different combinations. That's what we call match all, match any, match all cross fields, but you'll see that Marco explaining that later. Next steps in terms of search is to really make this functionality available for the end user. So today, what we're launching is the possibility for the admin to decide what the search criteria will be. We will then make that available for the end user to define as well. In terms of sorting and filtering, we've also made some improvements to all the webparts that we've launched new and refactored this year. So mostly related to supporting custom properties. So you're now able to sort based on custom properties and to filter based on custom properties. Next step here is going to be populating the drop-down field for the admin to set the filtering by that custom property without having to know that by heart, which is what you currently have. If you recall what the traditional or the current experience of configuration is. Okay, I think, Marco, can you show us a little bit of this? I think it will make having everyone more aware of the new things that we're adding today.
Yes, thank you, Francisca. So for this demonstration, so I have let me just share the screen. So I have here a demo site where I have 2 pages, and I will go through some of the new features that will be available for you today. So the first one is the title web part and the styles. As Francisca said before, the new layouts of the title web part didn't match the titles that we had on the other web parts. So for now we will have 2 layouts that we can have a match. So here at the left I have the tiles web parts where I have the tiles web part title here, and at the right we have our new title web parts that is actually displaying a title for the World Time Pro here. So as you can see here, now we have the same styles on each one. So if I go to the title web parts and I use the box layouts, I can have a match here on the web part if I just use the theme colors on the title bar option. So if I choose on the web part to have the title color, so we have the color here, and on this layout here on the title web part, we also have the same style. If we don't want to have the background color, so we can use on the web parts and just toggle off the colors on the title. And this will match another layout from the title web part, which is the first one here. So as you can see now, we have the same styles. So the other thing is the new feature of enabling deep links for web part zones. So to do that, so you have an option on the web parts where you can just go for anchors and just enable or disable a deep link. If I enable a deep link, and I will just publish the page. So I enabled a deep link for this part of the page, but I also have here another deep links here. So if I can go to this web part here, so we have the company news. We just can click on the link, and now you have copied a direct link to this zone of the page. You can use it just for some reason. If you want to share the URL with someone, you can use the direct URL, and it will be navigating to that zone. Or if you want to use this link for instance, if you want to create a link here for another page, which I have here. So if I click here on calendar, it will be navigating to the second page to the calendar zone. So if I click here, as you can see, goes directly to this zone. So another thing was the new features on the image gallery. I have the image gallery here. So recently we had this button to upload files directly to the document library, and now we have the option to subscribe alerts on this document library. So if I go here and just subscribe a new alert, so it goes to the SharePoint form where you can just subscribe an alert here for this document library. Another thing is the new search criteria. So before, all the search, all the words that we used on the search, they should be exactly the same words that we are looking for. But now we are extending this capability of just perform a smarter search. So for now, the search criteria, it's defined here on the web part settings. But as Francisca said, we will just put this option here to the end user very soon. So for now, just to demonstrate, if I go here and go for search, so I have chosen the department field, the name and the title as searchable fields. And this is our legacy search criteria, which is to search exactly the same sentence or the same words. But now we have another two different ones. So I can go here just to see this library, and I can see that Monica is from the HR department. So I will use these two fields just to perform different searches. So if I just search for Monica, it will find, because yeah, we have someone with Monica on the name. Okay. But if I just do this, Monica HR, no, we don't have a Monica space HR on the name. But okay, why not? We can just use the any criteria just to use those two words in separate. So if I go to any, now I will be able to find Monica, which department is HR, but also Christina that has HR on the names. But if I am just searching for this Monica from the HR department, so then we can go to match all words, but across fields. And we can choose this one, and we have the search for the criteria that you want. So very soon, we will just switch this from the web part settings, and we will put here somewhere, so the end user will be able to choose the criteria for the search. And the other thing is, okay, also here on celebrations, so you can now connect to Azure AD. Let me just expand here the range of people. So I want to see everybody. I don't have many people on my tenant, but I have three users that actually with a birth date. So if you use the Azure AD as data source, you have to make sure that your users have their birthdays configured. So if they don't, it will not work. So I think that's it, Francisca, for now.
Thank you, Marco. And I'm sorry for the hectic beginning of the call. I wasn't hearing you. Now I am. So thank you for that. I think we have some questions on the chat. Maybe I suggest that we go through them before moving on to people and documents. Is that okay, Marco?
Yes.
Okay, so the first question we have is, does deep linking open a SharePoint collapsible section if the web port you are linking to is in a collapsible section?
Well, I didn't try that, so I don't know.
Well, we'll try
Yeah,
and we'll get
yeah.
back to you, Anthony. Okay. Another comment, also, it would be great if the Accordion web port could be categorized with the searching all categories. That I yeah, I don't know if I understand.
I can explain it better if you want.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So I did try the deep linking if it's in a collapsible section, and it can't find it. Then, like the deep link won't work if it's in this collapsible section. And also for accordion, I had to create like 5 different accordion web parts. Like for example, we have categories of our FAQs, which is like benefits, IT, facilities. It'd be great if I could have like subheadings in the accordion, so I could put the FAQs in those sections, but there's still one search bar. Instead of having to do 5 different web parts, I just do one.
So if I understood, you want to just use one search and you want to have 4 or 5 different instances of accordion and just one search, or I just didn't understand your question.
So I want to be able to sort FAQs by category.
Yeah, okay.
So that, imagine there's 5 under benefits. And then
Okay.
I can also drag that to another category. So basically you add a category and it shows like a heading above that subsection of the accordion for the FAQs.
Yeah, it'll be like creating sections or categories within one accordion, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible yet, Anthony, right, Marco?
Yes, it's not.
But it's actually, if you have an example that you can send us of something you've tried to build, that would be great for us to get a better understanding of what
it's basically like, a list web part where you can have it be categorized and like show the heading, and then you can drop down and see the items underneath that. I wish we could do that with the accordion.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Let us give it some thought. Okay, I'll take note of that.
Yeah.
Okay, second question we have. Does creating a deep link add extra spacing above the web part title?
Can we repeat? I can read here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Does creating a deep link add extra spacing above the web part title? No, because it's floating. I can show you. If let me just see if I understand your question. But let me just go to the first page.
I think Marco, when you toggled that setting on, like we saw that link was just above the title. So wondering if it added some extra space or was it using them?
No, it doesn't have it because as you can see here, okay, I can have here the company news. It doesn't. It's just floating here, okay? But it's not adding extra space. So the distance between this web part and the other one is the same. So it's just floating here, okay?
Oh, and just so we don't waste any more time on my questions, we'll definitely have a separate meeting about accordion.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that. Okay, so let me go back to sharing because now I know we were a bit on top of the hour and apologies for that, but the next web parts that we're going to be working on are going to be people and documents. And again, let me reinforce this. These web parts won't be part of today's release for insiders, right? The versions that will be available to you in your insider account will be the improvements we've seen so far. These two new web parts will only be launched for insiders in December. Date still to be confirmed. Now, what we want to do today is to share our vision and get your feedback and comments on it. Okay, so starting with people. The new people web part will support 4 different data sources, including Azure AD, which I know has been a request for a long time now. We will keep supporting SharePoint Search, which is the current smarter way of using people. But as any of you who has been using this data source for the past year have probably noticed, we've had some issues retrieving users correctly there. So we will keep supporting it to ensure compatibility, but we don't expect the issues we've detected to be significantly improved. Our investment is going to be in lists, Azure AD, and the save to these web part data sources. We will be developing new layouts, more in line with the modern layouts that Microsoft has with the 3 layer cards. And we will also include customizable layout in which you can say which data fields you want to show in certain areas of the card or tile or whatever the layout will be. We will keep supporting the previous actions we had on people like calling and sending emails, but we will add a new one, which is to add it to your profile. As an individual user, you'll have the possibility to add it to your profile from there. Something similar to what you see there under Marco, update your profile. Very important and also very common request, we will improve search in line with what you've seen today already for the other web parts, right? So the search, the match all, match any, match all cross fields. And this is going to be very important for anyone who has ever asked to search by phone extension or by office location and by fields combined, right? So we expect that this new improved feature will allow you to solve all of those issues and address all of those requirements. Now, in terms of new functionality, we will start supporting presence indicator, also a very common request. And we will make it easier for the admin to filter and sort users, which we know it's a bit tricky in the current version of the web part. Also, we will allow the admin to decide whether sorting and filter will be also available to the end user and with which criteria. So imagine that you want as an admin, you want the end users to filter by department, but not by job title. This is very specific, but you'll have that flexibility. Specifically on sorting, We expect to address common requests such as the possibility to sort by last name or hire dates, or to drag and drop, so something completely different. So we're really building upon these capabilities of sorting and filtering. Now, an important note here, common to search, sort, and filter. So the fields that you'll be able to use to search, sort, and filter may differ depending on the data source you choose. So if you choose Azure AD, you may have some fields that you don't necessarily have when you're connecting to a list, right? I think that's clear, but just so it's clear, stated and transparent for everyone. Okay, still under evaluation. Couple of features here. So the possibility to follow users and to display external users. This is something that we're still studying and investigating how best to do that and whether it's possible or not. Other requested functionalities for which we're still validating feasibility include exporting set of contacts to PDF or Excel, creating an org chart layout, supporting rich text fields when connected to Azure AD. Sorry. This is the last one is specifically common in the About Me section, right, of the profile. Sometimes people use bullet points, for example, to describe themselves or their interests, and we've been asked to support that in the WebPart card. So all of these things still open to evaluation and not yet in the roadmap. On documents, we will keep supporting document libraries as the main data source. Again, still allowing for multiple document libraries to be combined in the same WebPart from multiple site collections, more than one at a time, all of that. We will be making new layouts, and just as with people, we will give the flexibility to map fields from the document library to the layouts that we will have available. So for example, instead of showing the modified date on the layout, you may want to show the modified by field, right? We will keep supporting the former actions that we had, such as preview and download, but we will add a couple of new ones, sharing and multiple file download, which I think is a time saver, critical one to add. You won't have to download documents one by one. In terms of improved functionality, and I know this will be very important for many of you. So we had a threshold of 5,000 documents. That was like the maximum number of documents that our WebPart could show it pull at a time. We're removing that. And we're also improving our deep search functionalities. And what we mean by that is the ability to search for files that are inside the folder, which is inside the folder, for example, right? Really increasing the productivity, the flexibility of the tool. In terms of new functionalities, so just as we've seen with the image gallery, being able to create a document library from the WebPart, defining categories for and customizing categories for documents. So for example, if you have a document library with policies and procedures, and in the document library you've categorized them as such, you may want to show policies in a different color to procedures, right? Or with a different icon. Also new functionality, the capability to receive notifications whenever there's a change, just exactly the same thing as you've seen with the image gallery. And finally, still under consideration for documents. A couple of things here. So grouping documents by columns, following or setting documents as favorites, the notify me, support for document sets, giving the end user the flexibility to choose how they're opening a certain document. If you recall, our news WebPart does something similar to this. So when the admin can choose whether the news piece will open in a pop-up or in a separate window. So we're wanting to bring something similar to the documents, but we want to give that choice to the end user. So we're still evaluating how we're doing this and when. Comments and likes and the tree view. I know this is also a common request, but we're still evaluating the smartest way to do this in the long run. So I know this was a very very dear set of web parts to everyone. So I'm really waiting to hear your feedback here. Suggestions for improvements, your thoughts on what I've shared. Feel free to open up the mic and just share freely.
Yeah, hi, it's Martin, Francesca. Yeah, hi. I just wondered, in the contact card, when you found a person, will you still have access to the organizational chart that's offered directly by Microsoft? So can you get through to the old Delve screen showing that type of information?
I think so, right, Marco? If you're using connected to Azure AD, you'll still be able to display that.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have on our layouts. You will have just exactly the same layouts as you see on the Microsoft cards, and you can see the organization, the hierarchy of everybody. Yeah.
Okay. So your thoughts around doing your own org chart, is that going to be replacing that? Just a different choice for the end user? What's the idea there?
Yeah, I think it's creating. We've received requests for creating an actual org chart web port that like displays everyone on a page. We've had customers using a PDF, an embedded PDF to show the org chart. So it would be something to help them with that. But we know there are solutions in the market for it specifically. So it's kind of whether this complements our offering or overcomplicates it.
Yeah, sure. Agreed. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I think we have some questions here on the chat, but yeah, go ahead.
Christopher, I think it was you.
Yeah, I can just for the people web part, for the contact cards. One of the kind of one requirement that I've heard a lot of times from various places are the ability for, if the users somehow if they have a library where they can upload an image, that you have the capability of showing sort of a badge for that users, so that you can use employee of the month or certain certifications or similar. That you can then show for those users as part of the people search experience. That might be worth looking into.
Okay, good feedback there. Thanks.
Okay, so we have some questions from
on the
Umar.
chat.
So is social activity web part still in the roadmap? Yes, yes, it's still on the roadmap. It's not the first priority now, but yes, it's still on the roadmap. And how about Teams chat, call action, and presence status? Yeah, yes, we will have the option to interact with the Teams chats, and we'll also have display the presence. Yeah. Okay, then tree view is a must. Okay, that's yeah, I agree. And the other one is, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, where's the presence information coming from? Is that based on Teams presence or?
Yes, we are getting that information from Microsoft Graph. Yeah.
Okay, so will you show the status messages as well?
Yes, but we are still in test at this moment because we are trying to understand how accurate it is. And but yeah, because sometimes you can see we know even in Teams that sometimes the presence is not so accurate. But yeah, we will implement that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So just as accurate as Teams. So maybe
yes,
10 or 15 minutes difference,
yes.
right?
Something like that. Yeah. Okay, and the other one is, if it works for you, I have some time to stay on for a bit today to explain my coding ideas. Yeah, okay, so yeah.
David is looking for its present. Yeah. Hopefully, David, we can have something before then, before Christmas. Let's see. Anyone else wants to open up their mic or write something on the chat? I know we're a bit over the hour. I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll post the recording on our insiders team and we'll send it by email. So if after and actually it could be good for us if you want to like share something on Teams or fill the survey that we usually send together with the follow-up email. If you want to something comes to your mind as a follow-up suggestion or question, just feel free to do so and we'll make sure to answer your questions on the next call, which we hope will be sometime mid-December, in a month from today, but you'll hear from me on an exact date closer to the beginning of December. Okay. Thank you so much again for joining. Apologies again for the issues at the beginning of the call, and well, hopefully we'll stay in touch.
All right. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.